Hello guys, and welcome back to the Doc Mac Car channel. And today what I'm going to do is work on my BMW E60 530i. This is a 2009 model, and I'm going to replace the spark plugs. And now this will apply to the 525i, 528i, 530i, and also possibly the 535i, because it's almost a similar sort of process. NGK iridium plugs. Now you can either choose iridium or platinum. I've gone with iridium. So you're going to need a torque wrench, 3/8" drive, an extension, and also a 13mm socket, a spark plug swivel. So this is magnetic, and you're going to see how it's going to come in handy when we use it. A T20 bit, and also a 5mm Allen bolt as well for this one. So without further ado, let me get into it, but consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I do post a lot of car how-to DIY videos, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos that I post, and also you'll be supporting me by subscribing. There's also a thanks button which you can click on the video, and that allows you to donate to the channel if at all you feel like doing so, because this job would save you around $450. Alright guys, so we have got ourselves a 5mm Allen key here. I've already been through and taken all those bits out. Now this one looks like it's coming from here, so I don't want to unclip it. We got one more bolt right here. And then there's one more bolt back here. I'll show you once I actually pull it out, because it's quite a weird location. This cover should just lift off now. Okay, there you go. Those 4 bolts are right here, 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 and here. First thing we need to do is we need to lift this one up like so. That should allow this connector to pop out. Pull this ignition coil out. Okay, so that's one ignition coil out. Alright guys, I got my 1/2 inch ratchet, 1/2 inch extension, and a 5/8 socket. I'm going to put this down here. Make sure you grab it and then undo it. Okay. Now what I've done is I've taken out the spark plug boot in here. If not, you'll get issues with the plug getting stuck in here. I've got my 5/8 magnetic spark plug socket. And then I'm going to unscrew it. And what's going to happen is it's going to fish out the plug for me. There you go. These are BMW plugs. Alright guys, these are the old plugs. Looks like it's got a little bit of oil in them. I might do the valve cover gasket later, but I don't need to do it now. So now you can see that over here, that electrode part, there's a bit more of a gap. Whereas if you look at the new plug, you can see that the gap is very close. So the one I'm using for my car is ILZFR6D11. Load the plug up, like so, and then thread it in. Okay, that's now finger tightened. Alright guys, so I'm going to use 26 Newton meters, but a good trick to these torque wrenches is if you want to get a good reading, you adjust it to one of the higher ones. So let's say you put around about 65 Newton meters. You take it to the wheel nut, and what you're going to do is you're going to try to torque it. Yep. So what that does is it lubricates the spring, and that allows you to get the proper torque that you need. So I have it here on 26 Newton meters. What you're going to do is you're going to put it in, grab the plug, and then you're going to tighten it until it clicks. Okay, there's 26 Newton meters. You guys may be wondering, why didn't I put some anti-seize on the plug? You can put copper anti-seize, but what will happen is that when you torque it down, you may not get the correct torque reading. So it's up to you. You can use anti-seize and you can use dielectric grease if you want. So for those of you who do not know, dielectric grease is basically you put some on the plug so that it forms a good seal, and that doesn't actually put moisture inside. But on the N52 engines, you have a pretty good seal. Let me show you what I mean. So people will normally say put some dielectric grease here so that the seal is quite good. But as you can see, the seal is very, very strong. So that's the reason I did not do it. All right, so I'm going to put this one back in. And you want to make sure that it seats in properly. Yep, I can see that seats in properly. And then you want to put this connector back in and push it in until it clicks down, and then push it down. So that sits down nicely now. Now I'm going to do this, and then once we go to the back ones, I'll get back to you. So I've done cylinder 1, 2, 3, now I'm on number 4. So I've got this line here, so I don't want to take that one out. So I have my 1/2 inch inside here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 1/2 inch ratchet, Okay guys, so I've got my magnetic swivel socket in here. That's how I threaded the plug in. Now, because of its location, because it's a swivel socket, it's a lot better to torque it down this way. So I'm going to push this one down here, like so. And then I'm going to torque it down. You see? So because of the angle, it can go like this. It looks a bit like a manual transmission. So that is why at the stuff angles, especially for cylinder number 4 and 5, and number 6 as well, it'll be fairly easy to do. What I'd suggest, if at all you have an ignition coil which is stuck, is to put one of your extension bits in here, and then you want to pull it out. Don't smack your hand against anything, but you can see how easy that one came out. Just so that you guys can see exactly what I did, I put my extension bit in here, and you want to put it right in the center, and then put your hand in like this, and then pull in one even pressure. If you put too much pressure on one side, you'll snap this, and then you can't get it out. All right, guys, for cylinder number 5 and number 6, what I have here with me is a 3/8 ratchet. And this is my magnetic swivel socket, which is also 3/8. So the plan of action is to do this. And oh, there's so little space to work with. I'm going to put this one right down here. Okay, and then you can take that one out. Then from here, you can thread it out. Now you guys can take out the strut brace right here, but it might be quite hard to do it because it's quite highly torqued. So this would be easy for everyone else to do. If you're not that mechanically inclined, then this is the easiest way to do it. Okay, there you go. That's one more plug out. So this is my NGK spark plug, and you load it in here, and you see it doesn't actually fall. So that's how it is quite useful. So I'm going to put this one in here. And the benefit of it being a swivel is so that you don't load the plug sideways. The swivel will actually take care of it. So now I'm going to torque it down to 26 Newton meters without taking my magnetic swivel out. Until it clicks. This is how I put the ignition coil back in, like so. Slide it in, and you want to make sure that the ring around the edge actually seats in properly, and you want to hear a click. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put the connector, the ignition coil connector back in, and then push it in all the way, and then push it down. And what you're going to do is stick this one in here like this. You can do it with the shorter extension bar if you want, just so that you get enough leverage. Okay, that's out. And that's ignition coil number 6 out. All right, guys, so what you're going to do is you're going to push it down now, and then Okay, and then we're going to manually swivel this one out. That's a mad sounding seagull. Okay, as you can see, the spark plug doesn't look the best. Some would say it's okay, but not by my standards. So I'm gonna put this one back in here. Okay. All right, and then we're gonna put it to 26 Newton meters. Alright guys, now we're going to put the ignition coil back in. Okay, and that's clipped back in. Now we're going to clip the connector back in. And push it all the way in. And then push it down. And what you want to do is, before you button everything up, you want to make sure that each of it is actually properly seated down properly. If not, you might have starting issues. Okay, all is looking good. All right guys, so now we have to button everything back up again. And we're going to clear all of this one first. Just make sure that it's seating in properly. Just screw back in. Okay, and we got one more here. That'll do it. And we've got our last one here, which is under here. You can't really see it, but I've already showed it to you earlier. Then we're going to put this part back. Like so. Okay guys, so this is how this screw looks. I'll put this one in the last. Now we're going to put this cover back on. Alright guys, so that concludes the video. That's how you replace the spark plugs on your BMW E60, 525i, 528i, 528xi, 530i, and possibly a 535i as well. It'll work for the N52 and the N53 engine as well. Alright guys, I hope this video has been useful and informative. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and don't forget to give it a thanks if at all you would like to donate to the channel. And I'll see you in the next one.